Next question.
Dave McMurray, doctoral student here at the university. I want to go back to mental health. And, we know that the mental health of students is very important. But for teachers, they're on the front line, and their mental wellness has a direct effect on the mental wellness of students. So my question is, what are the districts doing to address directly to the mental wellness of the teachers and all staff, or what needs to be done?
I think the first step is trying to create that positive culture and climate within your district. And what are we doing as administrators to facilitate that with our staff? I tell every employee that comes in to our district that not every day is going to be a party, but the expectation is that you're positive and you're positive with each other, and we work towards that. And we do targeted activities to make sure that we're trying to create that positive atmosphere in our buildings and our departments throughout the district, not just with teaching staff, but with all staff. So that we have a large emphasis on that to do that. We also have support teams in each building, in each department now, that not only focus on student positive mental health, but also our staff. And what are we doing to not only be proactive, but understand the warning signs of our fellow staff members, and understanding then that in these teams, what can we do to help these individuals to deal with the situations that they're dealing with.
I think for staff, Dave, I think we struggle with that, frankly. There's a lot of factors. You're dealing with adults and employee contracts and being able to connect with somebody who might be struggling. And I think we talked earlier about having principals and leaders that have that kind of courage to have those conversations. I think on the student side, we're much further along in terms of what we can do to help. But when it comes to staff, I think, speaking for our district, I think we struggle with that still. I mean, we identify, we help, we have the, here's a card to get, to talk to somebody, but, we're still pretty closed, I think, in what we do. I think that's an area that we need to grow in. In Perrysburg, last year, we have a pupil services department that handles 504s and special education and all those kinds of things. And we were just talking earlier about how we pulled a person out of that and is a director of wellness, because we wanted focus on that well-being for students, somebody who's focusing just on that piece. And that has really allowed a spotlight to show on those student challenges and issues. And we're looking at things in equity and mental health that we haven't done before, because it's always been kind of tucked in this other area. So we've done that. But with staff, it's an area I think we try to address. I think we're going to need to address it with the turnover that we're seeing. And I don't from our perspective, I don't think we're where we need to be, and I think we have to have a conversation about it. Good question.
I'll add.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Franz.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, go.
I'm just going to add in essence of one, because one of the things I've always expressed is that we always try to say that as professionals, you leave your personal life at the door, and I tell people that's just not a reality. That we're humans and individuals will bring some sense of their home reality to the work reality. So we addressed it in multifacets, in essence of part of the culture climate, but we had developed our own health and wellness. We have now our own fitness center, which we got from the YMCA as part of the collaboration of building our board out. So they now engage with the collegiality of fitness within that. At the same time, we provide other opportunities, such as we used the University of Toledo that provides mindfulness, which is another form of yoga. And you'd be surprised how many staff are engaged in that, but we started off with the student body, and the staff said, we want it too. And next thing you know, they're in there doing this with the kids, the whole deal. And they're into it. But they come back out, because at the end of the day, whatever helps you, you got to provide a variety. And the other one is we do Bible study with the staff. So you'd be surprised the testimonial that I hear about teachers who said, you know what, I was bringing my demons to school, and I was taking it out on children in essence of relationship. The study within that had allowed them to collegiality break themselves, what they call delivering, and said, now I respond and love my kids more than any other time I've ever done in my career. So again, it's those realities, and at the same time, as superintendent, you take those stands. Meaning, you know, some people say, well, the separation of church and state, there's no such thing as law within that. It's an expression of a president who once made the notion to that. But at the same time, if you do it in the equity way, you can provide those opportunities within your building just you provide any other opportunity. And you'd be surprised how many staff have truly, because you feel that sense of they're being on a grind on a day-to-day in the classroom, and then turn around and go home and deal with their home reality. At some point, there's a breaking point. And the other one is that, you know, I meet with each of the principals twice a year, so I schedule that, and it's an exhausting time to do because there's 50 of them. But, you know, it's truly a good sense of, one, working with them because it's the same leadership needed. But at the same time, I have a conversation with them that every principal or leader should have a good sense within their building when their staff is at a breaking point. And I always knew that as a principal. So I always knew what that was, got with my building leadership team and said, you know, I will take the student and give them a 3-hour break, and then I will PTO, and we're going to do raffles and that whole deal to give you that breaking point, because there's a stretch in a year that there's a long gap before the next vacation, and staff are at each other like this. I mean, if you've been in the building, you understand that, and so it's usually around before the holiday, and then that stretch between after the Christmas holiday. But again, it's knowing those points and understanding that you have to have a social IQ of understanding those around you ultimately need some sense of relief and break, as well as what you can do to provide all opportunity for them.
I'll just say as well that I think we have to always remember that we can't forget the staff, and we can do better with that. I think when we talk about mental health of our students and what's coming into our classrooms, that's directly impacting our teachers and their mental health with what they're dealing with those cases, but also the pressures that they have already, and then to have that. So I do think we can do better. In my prior district, Sylvania, they've taken some great steps towards that. There's 3 professional development days a year. Mental health was a big focus last year, still is in that district, and what we did was build in some mental health support and wellness activities for the staff, not just talking about the kids, but actually a day where staff got to choose different activities, and they were all geared around wellness or helping them feel better or giving them a break in some way, which is whether it's yoga, dietitian classes, just all kinds of neat things, and for a day they got to choose. And throughout one of the high schools, went to different classes that were truly focused on them. And if we could, we thought if we could do that, then the impact then rolls down to the students if they're feeling better and really showing them some of those opportunities. So Sylvania's gotten a real good start on that, and I believe it's still building on it this year. Just making sure that time is there for them, not just the kids.